more wine and one more whiskey, and we just kept the car in park and dim the headlights so we see the stars. Let them tell us where we should start. And I'm scared as hell because there's no way to know how this goes. But I can't help but say I promise to give you my all. But it might break me. It might break me, break me. It might break me, break me. It might break me down. I won't let you down. But it might break me, break me. It might break me, break me. It might break me down. It might break me. It might break me. It might break me. It might break me down. But it might break me. It might break me. It might break me. It might break me down. But it might break me. The sight of you, it makes me dizzy. And when you're gone, I miss your face. Tonight I'll meet you in our favorite place. And just can't let this wait one more day. But I'm scared as hell, and there's just no way to know how this goes. And I can't help but say, trusting why you are so beautiful. But it might break me. It might break me, break me. It might break me, break me. It might break me down. I won't let you down. But it might break me, break me. It might break me, break me. It might break me down. But it might break me. It might break me. It might break me. It might break me down. But it might break me. But it might break me, break me. It might break me, break me. It might break me down. It might break me.
Hello, everybody. I hope you are having a fantastic day, night, evening. We've got a big burst of energy. It's around noon or so. Time is practically irrelevant because we are standing here with pretty much the same team but different name. I'm using him underscore Intel. I'll be your play-by-play caster for today. Here, joined by the amazing Toasty. And Toasty, I gotta be real with you, man. We have the same org. What's going on today?
Yeah, this is going to be a heck of an inspirational match. We've got Snubbell Platinum versus Snubbell Gold, and don't let the actual tournament itself deceive you as well. These are Platinum and Gold teams, despite the rest of the teams being GM, so that in itself will make this an awesome match, but as well, these teams are from the same org, and of course we've got the rosters up on screen right now. And of course, I mean, these are from the same org, so these teams at least have some info on each other. Hopefully that's going to make this match a bit more interesting, but given that one's plat, one has silver players, this will be interesting.
I definitely have to agree to that sentiment. You know, a lot of these matches that we've already been having streamed, I think have been extremely high level. I think they've been very close and back and forth, especially last week on Sunday. We basically had a reverse sweep. It was absolutely a blast to see. So it's going to be nice seeing a little more of a chiller game coming out, Platinum versus Gold, seeing how they're going to mix. And, you know, I definitely feel we may be a little surprised. You know, we got to see their SRs, obviously, so they live up to their name more than anything. But I definitely feel we may get hit with a bit of a shocker, especially because they're from the same org, so they're going to have similar play styles. I don't really see changes between teams like that happen often.
Yeah, exactly, and I do think as well for this game, not just kind of the low SR making it a bit more, I guess, slower paced gameplay, but it could also just do the opposite. It could make this the most chaotic match ever. If you've ever been a silver lobby, I'm not sure if you have. I definitely have, multiple times, and it's pretty inspirational. The gameplay you see down there, they have the game sense of a goldfish, and of course, if you're going to be looking at a difference of platinum versus silver/gold. That can become either a hard roll, or we could actually see just a weird play style of the silver and gold players actually kind of play to their advantage a little bit. I'm one for underdogs usually. In this situation, not so much so, but I am definitely rooting for Gold to at least get a map, 2 maps, maybe win the series.
Yeah.
It's unlikely, but hey, I'm not gonna. I'm not a gambler, so.
I'll give you that, but our first map is going to be Control, and it's going straight over to Nepal. It's going to be quite interesting to see how this map, of all things, is formulaic, I guess. It's very optimal to how you want to play your comps, and I definitely think it's going to be quite interesting to see what these teams run out on, because our first point is Village, a brawl-known point.
Yeah, exactly. We've got Village coming through. Which I think these teams, like, on this map overall are going to play Rush anyway. Sanctum is a decent Rush map, and you'll probably see Shrine as well as a decent Rush map for these teams to play. But obviously Village is the one where you kind of have to play it. You'll see the difference of the Symmetra versus the Cassidy here. Snubbell Gold opting for the Cassidy, a bit more, I guess, long-range pokey kind of style, whereas Platinum are looking for this very fast-paced gameplay, where they're just going to rush in with Symbian.
Personally, for me, I'd like to more look at these compositions about who's going to be able to walk into the enemy team. Obviously, we see Gold with the Mei, not going to be able to walk into you. Symmetra, yes, and I think this is going to be the bigger point. They're already looking for the Mei walls, however, going on to opposite sides gives a bit of room. Very nice Mei wall blocking off. Krillo does not get a chance to back out, does not get the immortality. Their entire team is now open to the shred that is Krill and CCA as they continuously brawl on, and it seems that Platinum, they're already going to be winning the fight.
Yep, exactly, and that's, I think, what we expected for the first fight. A brilliant Mei wall coming through from Blue to set that up, gets that initial kill, and from there it's just smooth sailing. I think optimally here, they are staying inside of the point. They want to play around these Symmetra turrets, and Snubbell Gold are going to have a heck of a time trying to get in. Ind1 probably needs to get a starting pick here, otherwise it's going to be so hard to engage.
Definitely have to agree to that sentiment, but look at that, they lose outcasting very early in this fight. They are looking to kind of juke rotation, but Zarya out on their own, the rest of the team more into the back, the window shoes, forcing them to not be able to take any sightlines. This is a big problem for Gold, though Cassidy is going to be able to return. They use the Mei wall just to block off some line of sight. The fight is still not in their time. That control point continues to go further, and they have backed out just to be able to bring them back. The confidence is not there.
Yeah, they're waiting for the Cassidy to come back as well as just waiting for resources to come online. They have a beat pretty soon and they do not want to get caught in a blizzard or a shatter without that online. So Lulu will have it coming up to this team fight, and Snubbell Gold, recognizing the positioning of Platinum, going up to this high ground, they will get the drop on them, and they can probably use an Ant Matrix from up here, to be honest.
It's going to be worrying, though. You see, they pop it out. They're looking for a chance to use it, but it's perfectly blocked out as Platinum just refused to play around it. Soundbarrier gets used with that beautiful Maywall plus the Blizzard. That Soundbarrier basically means nothing when Krillo immediately falls down, Immortality having no use in this fight. Gold may be able to use that wall to try and escape, but this is one big staggered fest as Blue uses the wall, almost stops them from escaping. Either way, the Shatter is making sure that they have no room to have equal respawns.
Yep. And that was just an entirely great fight there for Platinum, recognizing that the beat was coming through, recognizing that they had to cut off some players on Gold, and that's exactly what they did again. Blue coming through with a clutch Maywall there. I'll attempt to be a touch. The Zarya can't quite get there, but someone is.
It is someone, but at this point it's nobody, as we see that Shatter goes in, gets blocked. Now it's a messy dry fight as they have to do whatever they can, and it's very dry because I don't want to say how dirty it is, you know? Just let them walk in one by one. Absolutely hits that Shatter, slams them down. It's not even fair. Though we at least get a kind of sentiment on the styles between both Platinum and Gold, especially for which team likes to rush and more of that formulaic. Now, because I can't speak English, we're going to be going over to Shrine, which does have a similar playstyle comparably to Village, but I don't know, something, you know, I'm still rooting for the underdog, but something just does not have the word for it.
Yeah, I think Gold have got a trek ahead of them, we'll say that much. They are going to be adapting a little bit, going to a more spammy composition. Indwan's still on the Cassidy, but they've got the Sigma there, playing Anna Mercy, so really, they've realized that Platinum kind of want to play aggressive and go for those Maywalls, so they're going to absorb that. They're going to have high damage to break the Maywalls, they're going to have the Anna for anti-nades to punish the aggression. I think this is a good adaptation from them.
Relay seeing that teleporter just to go on to the point. It gets broken. Anti does manage to hit Blue, but look at that, they spaced off Krillo. Wasn't with the rest of the team. Now they have no heal. They need to find CCA, who's already dangerously low. Fortunately gets that healing, able to regroup, and now it's just a cleanup phase once more.
Yeah, they would have loved to have the Baptiste there, but instead Funpai opting to play the Anna. If you have the Baptiste there, you can Immortality your Reinhardt, probably keep them alive a little bit more. Krillo can rotate back to their team and you get at least a somewhat decent fight. That was just a one-way stomp for Platinum because their Reinhardt got caught out way away from the rest of their team. They have swapped over to Moll on the Soldier, so again, this is lending itself way more to the poke style. They just need to make sure they're playing these high grounds effectively, maybe get the Cassidy or the Soldier up there and start prodding and poking away, getting these ultimates built up, because that's where they're gonna really get these team fights in.
More than anything, I definitely feel it's just kind of the speed and efficiency. We see Cassidy already dropped, now spaced up. Though this Anti, very beautiful, manages to find out to the Immortality keeps them up, and they lose their Ana in the trade. Once more, before the Reinhardt can even fall to regroup, everybody's dead. And now it's just one melee stagger after the other.
Yep, some interesting positioning coming through from certain players of Gold there. They really just wanted, they got the drop on them, but they were the ones being aggressed onto by Platinum. And again, now Platinum just have an ultimate advantage because of all the swaps that Gold have made. Molly swapped the Soldier last fight, now we got Indwan onto the Pharah. Sure, you've got the Mercy here, and this can do a lot to Platinum's comp, but not if they play quickly like this. They're up on the high ground, they can access pretty much anywhere on the map with a speed boost, and they have a Blizzard, a Shatter, an Ant Matrix. There's so much to work with here.
I mean, the bigger problem comes is now they've got this comp switch going on to the Pharah. At least for Gold, we see the Valkyrie being used up against the window. Luckily, we are seeing them LOS it very fine. They're not going to be walking into it, but they aren't really spaced out. The other gets hit, but the counter shatter is going to be helping to take. No, CCA managing not to be pushed off the map because Sound Barrier is going to be looking to win this fight, and they're managing to hit out for them when they've lost their Ana in the meantime. And well, it just seems Krillo is going to get melted before you can take out CCA. Even the Blizzard feels to be invested. Last fight territory, and there is nobody on Gold as they were just not with their Reinhardt. to help secure this fight. And as much as I want to say somebody can touch, I doubt that charge is fast enough, as we see Snubbell Platinum manage to take Nepal.
Yep, and I mean, that was pretty dominant. You know, I was mentioning how there might be an underdog story here. Snubbell Gold, I think that kind of possibility is being thrown out the window now. You mentioned in the last fight there that they weren't playing with the Reinhardt. It's hard to say, but I'm pretty sure it was the other way around. I think the Reinhardt went off on their own mission. They were looking for a flank shatter in main, couldn't quite find it in that last team fight, and, well, they were segmented off from the rest of the team, and that's what happens, right? This is what I mean by the inspirational silver gameplay. You see plays like that where a Reinhardt will just go off on their own and then get caught out. We do have some statistics coming up here from the Reinhardt of Platinum, and this is, I mean, you know, what you would expect.
Honestly, I definitely have to agree, at least to that idea. Eliminations 19, Final Blows 8, it's very much not something outshining. It's definitely not something too amazing, but at least, you know, we're getting what we're expecting, and I definitely feel that on Platinum, it's showing that they're at least knowing their understanding, and they're not looking to play better. They're just looking to win, especially going into those angles. They were definitely, as a unit, comparably to Gold, who often were kind of Mickey Mousing around, looking to find that extra hit in the castle. But either way, they just weren't really able to secure it. And I don't know, does that feel like a difference of SR or team play?
Yeah, I think it can be a mix of both. I think those two things go hand in hand, to be honest. You know, as a lower SR, sure, you're not going to have as great mechanics, but sometimes, you know, you can climb based on team play alone, that kind of stuff. So you can't really create too much of a correlation, but I do think the team play there was just completely off, right? In that kind of rush composition, they weren't recognizing that, oh, we'll need someone to bait the Maywall here, or, you know, let's play with our Reinhardt so they don't get segmented off. I think so many fights coming through there, there was those Maywalls happening for Platinum onto Gold, and that just kind of snowballed into a bunch of fight wins. We are going to into Eichenwald as our next map, and this is interesting because it's yet another map you can feasibly play rush on first and third. Second is always that kind of wild card where you can play a ton of stuff on it though, so maybe Gold can adapt, maybe they can play some of that Pharah they were just playing.
You know, I definitely have to feel with that sentiment, though a bad taste in the back of my throat comes out solely because Eichenwald, of all escort maps, is by far one of the most pokey and divey. At the same time, I feel both of those compositions have such strong elements, but it's not really something that lower elo comps are, I think, comfortable on using. I definitely feel it can be very hard because, you know, double shield, pokey comps, you stay together, you poke, you take angles. You know how hard it is to live in those types of situations?
Yeah, very well, and I mean, Eichenwald as well, I think you make a good point there about the kind of pokey play styles and that kind of stuff. Obviously they can play the Pharah here, but what I'm scared of is that if this is like some sort of poke mirror, for example, right, if that happened on Eichenwald here, I just think if Gold play the Pharah, they're just straight up at a disadvantage. The Pharah needs to get into position and deal with hit scans and that kind of stuff, whereas if you just play the Ashe Hanzo, everyone's behind a shield and it's completely safe. Platinum probably have the mechanical advantage over Gold. They play Ashe Hanzo. If it's a mirror Ashe Hanzo, they win. If it's a Pharah, even better, because the Ashe is just going to dink that far out of the sky constantly. I don't think there's really any composition that trumps over Platinum here, depending on what Platinum plays. We'll see it coming through right here, and yeah, Orisa Sigma, what we'd expect, the Ashe Hanzo. The Lucio's a bit interesting, but, you know, there we go.
Yeah, okay, listen, I would have respected the Lucio. You never seen in those types of compositions, but it gives you more rotational opportunities.
It does.
You know, you just absolutely hit that speed boost and you rush on them. It's going to terrify. But I'm highly more interested on Snubbell going with the kind of double flex support. I think we see this a lot in comp. But, you know, I think the ability for it to work has always been on a tight line.
Yeah. And I think as well with the Lucio there, just a bit of a throwback. Do you remember when Moira Lucio was what you played with Orisa Sigma way back in the day? I think it was actually playoffs of Season 2. So, yeah, pretty interesting there, but just a bit of a throwback. Platinum here, I think they really are probably just going to destroy this ball composition if Gold don't engage quickly enough.
Well, the big problem is they don't have a Lucio. They get hit by the dynamite extremely early, and that immortality is just used so they can make it through. But look at that, Blue is still on top of the bridge, being able to shoot them at their back. Never turn your back to the enemy, as we see another dynamite being able to take out the Cassidy, not getting any healing. Following closely after is that Sigma being trapped in this small room. You know, you're claustrophobic, not going to be able to free yourself without panicking, and well, Blue's gonna be able to get that play of the game right there.
Yeah, Blue just popping off right from the outset, and they have that Bob online. I think it was mostly that dynamite that built up the Bob, like you were saying. They got off 2 or 3 dynamites over the course of that team fight onto pretty much the entire team. That's the power of Ashe into this rush composition, especially if you're playing a Sigma. You're not gonna be able to eat those like a Diva would.
I think it's even more impressive that Blue built up this Bob, choosing it so early. I respect it. You're catching the Ana mid-rotation, forcing that immortality out once more. Though we do see Gold finally being able to get out that rotation, they don't notice that the Ashe hasn't moved, hits the dynamite, clips out onto Barry. And while we see Cassidy going onto the flank, you just don't feel too great going off for that 1v1 and getting sniped, and you're at 1. The Dragons there to clean up the rest of the fight, as your team just did not have the resources to survive.
Yeah, and again, it's just that flank from the Ashe. Blue there, absolutely. See, if this was any higher of an SR game, I'd say that's an awful play, staying behind like that. You're segmented off from your team, but Gold just didn't have the awareness. They didn't even realize they were being shot at until it hit them in the backside, and there was 2 people dead to Blue. So, you know, definitely some good Ashe play coming through. An element of lack of awareness from Gold as well. Now we've got the Stamp Matrix, so this can make the spam just twice as hard to deal with for Gold now.
I mean, but Gold, they have 2 ultimates. Never mind, they have 1 ultimate
they have 1.
that they can use in this fight. But the window from Platinum is going to make sure they don't have an opportunity to use it, as they just stand in that choke, get melted down. Now, we're going to see what they do, building up to that Blizzard and Shatter. That could mean something.
Yeah, it could be good. The problem is you're not going to be able to get that kind of, you know, jump up Shatter through the shield if you don't have a speed boost, right? Usually Reinhardt's like to run up to the shield, jump past it, and then get that Shatter through. You can't. No Lucio if you're playing on a Baptiste. It's not great. You do have the Nano boost though.
Very early fight, Sleep Dart missed. We see the Gravitic Flux combined with the Bob once more, stopping the fight before it begins. Gold, they have nothing to do besides just, I don't know, use the Shatter? That's not what you had to use.
Oh, inspirational, like I said. I mean, that is silver gameplay if I've ever seen it. I'm not sure if they're swapping. No, doesn't seem like it. So I guess they're trying to get an exit pick and it didn't work. But like I said before, they now have the Nano boost if the Ana doesn't die first. Cassidy does, but, you know, at least it's not the Ana here. So they can use that on either the Ryan, the Sig, even the Baptiste, you know, go for that kind of inspirational play. Who knows?
The problem is, look, the immortality used, then the Bongo going up against the window. You don't have a shield that is consistent enough to go up against Blue, who dynamites your support line, stops them from being able to move in. Though you get the Nano off and you finally take out Blue, your entire team do not have the room to push in. Though we do see the Gravitic Flux looking to slam down, isn't able to secure a single pick. Stuck inside the enemy backline, being punched to death. This is not MMA fighting. You don't have to do it in that sense. Even the Dragons going into Cassidy just barely lives. They have to touch the point. They do get this opportunity with the Blizzard coming back. This fight is semi-winnable, though losing the entirety of your team, you know, that's gonna hurt. You don't even get the Blizzard onto point, and just like in Undertale, Hopes and Dreams is a very underrated soundtrack. Score.
Yeah, exactly. And wait, what? I don't get that reference, but I'm not gonna question Intel.
Oh, well, it's a song in the game Undertale, Hopes and Dreams.
Oh yeah. I got you. Yeah.
Because they have none. You see?
Yeah. You didn't have to do him like that, Intel. Oh, but no, I completely agree. I mean, Gold didn't even get a tick there, and for the second map in a row, Mole has spent the entire round building up a Blizzard, didn't get to use it until the round is already over and it's in the slow-mo phase. So it's just a little bit sad for them, to be honest. I mean, I feel bad. This is, I mean, okay, sure, this is like one game out of, what is it, 4 or 5 they have to play, I can't remember, but there's a few more games ahead. The question is, you know, this is a Plat team they're up against, future games are up against GM teams. Yeah, I feel bad for Gold here, honestly.
Yeah.
But they are playing something a bit different. They have got the Junkrats, so maybe they're going the kind of no-skill route where maybe they get the full hold off of just some Junkrat scum tactics. I've seen it happen before.
Yeah, you know, more than anything, I think we just have to give them some respect on their name. They may not be here to try to go all the way, but they are definitely going to give their hardest at it, and that is just something I give absolute love to. So, we'll just have to see how they hold on this point, going with this full poke. I do find it interesting, Krill, they fell for the trap. Okay, you know, who's the true golds here?
Yeah, I mean, that's a classic Junkrat trap. Get some ult charge in there. Ind 1 still hasn't hit a mine, though, so...
Yeah, but look, they teleport right into the backline of the support, being able to take out Krill, who gets punished very quickly, though they had to use the immortality to trade it out. This is now a mid-fight, 5v6. They have a lot of room to win this out. However, Gold, they choose to back out. Fez is still dangerously low, finally getting that healing. Shields are broken, they're given the time to regroup, but then Blue goes a little bit too far, gets traded out, has no room to help on the team, but you let the trade go out! How do Gold lose two? Very quickly, the Shatter gets slammed, taking out your Diva. All they needed was a tick, and the smallest mistake gets exploited as we see Platinum take Eichenwald.
Yeah, Platinum, honestly, I thought Minecraft speedruns were the easiest thing ever, but, you know, clearly Platinum have other ideas. That was just utter dominance. I mean, they get the full hold through, and then they get the tick pretty much within a minute. And yeah, there was a little bit of feeding from the DPS line and the back line, but I think we can ignore that. Here's the cleanup, you see it towards the end, just good stuff. The Shatter to clean it up. I mean, it was a free Shatter. Not too impressive, but still does the trick for you. And again, I mean, we said earlier on about how this might be a bit of a crazy game. This has just looked pretty, you know, as much as I want to say it's standard, right? Just a Plat team playing like they normally would. And then you've got the gold/silvers that are like, oh god, what do we do against this? There's a flanking Ashe and no one's looking at them. Oh no, we're being flank shattered by a Reinhardt. It's that kind of stuff that they're just not paying attention to. And here we'll see again the Reinhardt for the blue side of Platinum on Eichenwald, the Baptiste, sorry. And this is, I mean, it's just, again, inspirational gameplay.
Man, you know, even though it says as Reinhardt on the thing, you know, definitely have to...
Yeah, I was told it was a Baptiste.
Yeah, give credit to our producers for, you know, telling us it's Baptiste, you know.
Yeah,
don't worry, we've got you, folks. We've got you here. We're truly the Plat organization. You know, for Baptiste, this is very understandable, and I think it's shown to how much the Baptiste is getting done in this fight. But rather, I'd like to point out how low the statistics are, meaning how much gold is not getting done in these fights. And I mean, obviously, that's expected. It's a learning moment for them, but it's definitely showing how Platinum are making sure to take them extremely seriously.
Yep. And now we're going to have the actual Baptiste statistics of Ducky coming up for you now. And again, you said before these statistics are relatively low because there's not much to be done here. These fights are ending extremely quickly, so there's no opportunity to farm stats. And in all reality, I mean, it's just dominance on the Platinum side. Those team fights end like in instants. Like you said, I mean, there was what, a 10-second team fight you had to cast for a second, like
yeah. It's very understandable, and even with these different settings of stats that you're seeing right now with Ducky, it's pretty much the same as we saw basically with CCA. It's small, it's confirmed. I mean, 20 eliminations for a Baptiste is still highly impressive. You know, that means they understand the fundamentals of what Baptiste is supposed to run. But I definitely feel Gold more of a learning opportunity, and it's almost as if watching a pro boxer go up against an amateur, but they like train under each other. They go to the same ring, so they're friends. But the senior is just going ham on them. Just know, like, hey, learn from your mistakes. We're gonna hit you as hard as we can. See how you change.
Yeah, exactly. And well, Intel here, going into the break, what do you think are we going to see? Are we going to see Gold actually adapt, maybe make some swaps, that kind of stuff? Or are we just going to see Platinum roll it through in 5 minutes again?
Hey, I brought up hopes and dreams earlier because I hold it tight. Though it may be crushed, it will always come back stronger. And I definitely feel that whatever Gold have in their pockets, they are ready. We are going to see some changes on their side. So I highly recommend you stay tuned because we'll be back right after the break. The scuffle may be a final opportune moment to where the Tracer 1v1 is going to be punished, falling off the map, even getting the melee. At least that goes to your full spot ult charge. Now your scrim. Just barely make it out in the fight on the point. No recall, you're absolutely
up at like 100% better most of the time. Still waiting on this nano. I mean, you know. Not ideal.
So let's take a second to look at the Tracer statistics, though. There is a significant amount of time difference, but 18 eliminations, 8k damage, 6 ultimates used. That is a lot. That's three mines, maybe on both attack and defense. Playing for 11 minutes and 5 seconds compared to 15, you're equal, if not better than Habit. And I think that's not only showing a different play style, but a different understanding of how you're wanting to play that D.Va. Hatu still being able to get in that consistent damage. Look at the final blows per 10, 8.1 more than Habit. Stay up.
Rally because they know that it's coming at some point here.
But look, the bomb is what makes the difference, Booty. It's the bomb.
Rocket shots. Now everybody's kind of out, you know, separated.
You're from another planet. I've never felt like this. I don't know how I ever survived without it. I'm starry-eyed. Got me upside down, spinning around you. Wanna taste the clouds, dance with the moon. Take a trip around your body. Boy, I love the way you got me. Starry-eyed, got me starry-eyed. This bed is out of space, just keep painting constellations. You cover me in glitter till I'm shining bright. I never wanna leave the sky. The way you made me feel alive. I was in the dark and baby you're the light. You're from another planet. I've never felt like this. I don't know how I ever survived without it. I'm starry-eyed. Got me upside down, spinning around you. Wanna taste the clouds, dance with the moon.
Hello, everybody. Hope that you had a nice break. I definitely say we've had a very inspirational break. We've had a moment to just sit down and think about everything that's been going on. Right now, it's Platinum 2-0 leading against their own Orc team. Well, Golds. And I'm using them until if you don't already know that. This is Toasty, the inspirational person who keeps saying that word. How are you doing?
I'm feeling a bit inspired right now by this gameplay. You know, it's some good stuff coming through. We talked a bit before the break about how this is just an absolute roll. Platinum won 2 maps in record pace, and I made the kind of comparison in the break about how this is kind of like Season 3 Titans vs. Shock. This is like, I don't know how much game time that was, but I think it was like 18 minutes or something like that in the Overwatch League. It was definitely a fast game, and this is gonna probably, outpace that as well. We're going to Rialto as our next map, meaning a full hold here and then just an easy attack would mean the Platinum end the series very fast. However, Gold could have some chances. They've had a break. They've been able to deliberate a little bit. So what are you thinking?
In my opinion, I definitely feel that Rialto is, and take this with like as much of a grain of salt from like a guy who's like hard suck plat. Rialto is by far one of the hardest maps of any escort point that you can think of. First point is
Junkertown?
No, Junkertown is not that hard, and here's the case of why. Rialto first point is so close quarters. How many teams do you see struggle to push it when they are of equal terms? When they are of equal skill ability?
In your defense, I am a May OTP, so I am kind of biased towards brawl maps. And that's probably why Junkertown sucks for me. But hey ho, listen, being a May OTP is not that bad. Okay, it's nice for maps like Kings Row and Rialto and stuff. So that's why I like it.
You know, you've got your opinion. You've got it wrong. Don't even worry about it. As it's just the sentiment of I definitely feel Rialto. It caters to a specific playstyle. While in Junkertown, I definitely feel you have variety and opportunities to switch things up. There's always a way to like push in. You have so many options. What do you have on Rialto? High ground. You have high ground, you have low ground. You have 2 things that try to defeat your opponents, and only one of them will work at a time. And when you're going up against an opponent who can read you like a book, as we've seen Platinum do, how easy is it going to be to shut them down? You know, going into Rialto is going to be the moment where Gold show that they can adapt or not.
Yeah, I think this will be it. I mean, honestly, Gold, they haven't shown too many adaptations. In fact, the adaptations they've made were, for lack of a better word, bad, right? They played Pharah, they played Soldier, they tried, they've been kind of OTPing the Cassidy a lot as well, putting in 1 on that champ. Hero, sorry. And essentially what it comes down to, I think, is just kind of that lack of adaptation and how Platinum are exploiting it. They're realizing that Snubbell Gold, they're only playing Brawl and variations of Brawl. They're whipping out the Arista Sigma here because it worked last time. All you need to do is throw blue on a flank, get a 4K, and you win the team fights, right? Gold can't adapt to that because they don't have the awareness to know that blue's there half the time.
I'd like to think it's just more of putting blue at a roughly 70, it's like a 45 angle, 75 angle or so up on top of the high ground. It seems that diameter is not one that they'll be able to defeat quite easily. So more than anything, going up double shield versus Brawl, will Gold be able to bring it back? This is match point. We did not mention it before. This is one long line of sight as the poke is already beginning. And, well, Gold have no easy way, though it seems that they've sent their D.Va to the opposite side. Unfortunately, they didn't have a support with them. That D.Va is immediately demagged, and, well, they only had a Tracer, so it's really not going to be benefiting them as no one's going to be able to eat up this damage, though they do get to the choke without too much of a worry. We see Fed's shield's broken in. Molly! Oh, the D.Va! Oh, no, not the Mercy! Oh, God! All massacred. Not funny.
Yeah, this is just an absolute bloodbath on Platinum's side right now. They, the Hanzo did get taken down for those 3 kills they got, but that was enough to end the fight immediately. I did like what Krillo and Ind1 were trying to do with the whole flank, set it up, get your Tracer in position, and then let your D.Va help them out and, you know, kill people in the backline. But the problem there is that you didn't have any heals, and when your D.Va's playing alongside against a Hanzo, you're gonna die. Snubbell Gold, that was a nicely informed play if it didn't fail so horribly.
But look at this amazing change in style. Noticing that Gold going through the alleyway, they drop down, use the window, and say, "Hey, meet us face to face. Don't go behind us. You know, that's not how we work."
Yeah, and Platinum, again, this is just an adaptation that we've been talking about, you know, for so much, is that, you know, they dropped from the high ground to the low ground, realizing that rotation came through pretty early as well. And I'm pretty sure someone might have scouted out, might have been Hanzo. But either way, being able to act that quickly is pretty good. Now you see the Valk coming through, so Gold want to engage very early on, and to be fair, D.Va's got the high ground here. They could make something work with this if the Tracer gets into the backline.
They did an amazing thing by taking over that high ground, giving room for not only Soldier but Tracer to take spaces. Beautiful dive coming in. Throw the storm arrows, hit stone for the dragons. They make an equal trade. Baptiste for the monkey. Unfortunately, though, the Mercy's there gets the res. Visor now pops, looking to move forward. CCA gets taken out, and it seems Molly is not going to be able to use that Visor. Once again, Platinum stabilized, even if that Ana is running away slightly in the back.
Yeah, and the issue there for Gold was that, you know, you got that initial pick onto the Baptiste, but you couldn't convert it. The Tracer wasn't there, the Soldier was trying to flank, and in the midst of rotating, right? It's very difficult for everyone to be there at the exact same time, and for a team like this, you know, that lacks coordination, lacks awareness, Dive is not the composition to be playing, I'm saying that much. Blue, though, put out on the side. Ooh.
There's a lot of things that he just shouldn't be playing. Tracer might be one of them. Getting instantly clipped in the head is the worst sin any Overwatch player can commit, besides from having Arby's ham and a cheese slider. That's at least in my opinion. It's already a minute under. Now they need a moment. What can they do? They've already lost their Ana, and they're just resetting.
Yeah, they're trying to group up and they're just getting trickled out. I mean, the Ana dies there. It's been a good few times over the course of the series as well that Berry Wall has died first. Always seems to be lagging behind a little bit. As there's another kill onto the Tracer. This is honestly just a massacre, and they're popping Valk.
It's an ultimate to build up other ultimates, as I'd like to say. Using it as an engagement tool is definitely not uncommon, but they're not making any headway with it. The fight for that high ground, but then they instantly give it up. Blue just barely managing to escape. They throw the bomb out, not able to find anything. Primal Rage, Nano Gravitic Flux is looking to stop these rush of ultimates, slow them down. The Nano hit the Mercy. The Nano hit the Mercy, and the bomb is cleaning up the rest of the fight. I feel so bad, even if Ind is coming back to use the Pulse Bomb. They were already prepared for you. No opportunity, you have no room as you get full held. And I guess at this point, I'm going in to put on some cat ears. That's what my job is. I think
Excuse me?
I just think I have to turn to the way of a cat, because maybe, just maybe, I can get the sixth sense. You know, cats always land on their feet. I feel that's what Gold need to do. If I mascot them for
they also need the 9 lives, considering how much they're feeding as well. I'd like to say, but I don't think currently they do have those cat ears on them. Maybe it's just a cat ear diff. Maybe Platinum have it, you know? They're the same org, but maybe, you know, they have different routines, different preparations, different, you know, cat ears.
Yeah, I definitely agree to that sentiment. Players change all the time, and so when you're bringing in a new org, or especially a smaller team, I think those SRs, how long the team has been playing together, it matters, and we can kind of see the not disillusion, but the ability to not work as a group from Gold kind of being pointed out. I had to think of a way to articulate that properly, because it's not as if Gold are bad, it's just they aren't really playing as a unit.
Yeah, it's that they don't really know what everyone else is doing relative to them, and they don't really have a plan going into these team fights. And Intel, you'll be happy to know our producer has just sent in an Amazon link to some cat ears, so you can cop those, and so can Gold apparently, because they'll need it. As they are playing the Sigma again on the defense. They tried this last time around on, I believe it's Nepal, and it didn't quite work too well.
I mean, but this is a whole different point. They have a lot of opportunity to poke. They have the angles, and look at that! Krill gets absolutely clipped by Molly, and that's what you're looking for. Blue has no room to even take out this poke, and this is what's making the difference for Gold, as they know they have this fight under the bag, putting pressure onto the monkey, forcing them back. However, they do get a little bit over-ambitious, and they lose Molly. They're not even looking for that res. The Tracer's in the back line. With the Immortality popped and the Baptiste melted, this is where the snowball now commences. No opportunities for that res. Never mind, they bring it back. Uses the Falc just to be able to escape quickly on top of it. However, they are not finding any picks against Platinum. Gold are struggling finding a target to focus on, as Mercy is just flying into the sky. However, nobody can touch that point. Just the stall for even a second as we see Snubbell, see I pronounce it right, Platinum. They're going to be taking the 3-0 against their brothers and sisters in arms.
Yeah, that, honestly, that's going to leave some hard feelings behind, I'm telling you that much. That was just utter dominance. If these teams scrim each other at all and that's the result, I think Gold need to be finding some new scrims. But to be fair, I mean, there's nothing Gold could really do. It was just a massive SR difference. You know, probably didn't have as much synergy as well. You know, despite that SR difference, you know, I think synergy was the one thing they could have relied on to maybe give them an advantage against someone, you know, that's maybe up to 1k higher than they are on each individual role. But hey ho, Platinum, they managed to close it out. They perform on the dive. They execute the dive so much better than Gold did when they tried to play it. They were all there at the right time. They had the echo there for the damage. They got the critical kills as well, and they actually followed up afterwards. Gold did get those critical starting kills when they played the dive, but Platinum just so much better at it, so much better at converting those into teamfight wins, and therefore the series win.
I can definitely feel that sentiment, though, at least for me. I definitely feel instead of a more SR difference, it was just team coordination difference. I definitely feel one team had a bit more experience working as a unit, another team didn't. While yes, SR is a kind of example of where you are, I think Gold on a different day, a different timeline could have brought this could have brought Platinum to their knees, but I think they're just going to have to go back to scrimming 3K just to be able to warm up and get a bit more practice in. But I've got to say, that was at least a very fun map, and given into positive sport. Platinum did not meme on them at all, and that's the biggest thing that I love out of teams is when you take them seriously. So, you know, Toast, that was really the only match we had to cast today, too.
Yeah, so a pretty quick one, a very quick stream. I believe that was only like, what, an hour and something minutes? Not even that, I think it was just up to an hour, but very quick match coming through today. Like I likened it before to the Shock versus Vancouver match from Season 3 of Overwatch League. That was inspirational to watch, and so was this game Intel. And, I mean, any last thoughts? Because that was just a bloodbath, to be honest.
I definitely feel, at least when it comes to thoughts, it's always great to see a team competing, no matter the SR, no matter their opponents, going in with positive mindsets. That's definitely something that I have to give full respects to, and a bunch of love, because I know a bunch of people who would be terrified of doing that or hesitate in any sense. So at least for me, Gold are going to be my winners in my heart, and I'm going to write their name. I'm going to get a tattoo of them. All right, promise that. No, I don't. I don't like lying. Either way, that is going to be the end for us over onto the production and casting side. I 100% want to be thanking you all for tuning in to, once again, Overwatch EX. If you enjoyed what you saw, I highly recommend hitting that little heart. It's a follow, hit the bell. That's notifications on, so you can stay up to date when it comes to anything Overwatch EX, as well as follow the official Elo Hell Twitter. They make sure to provide memes, streams, and sometimes weird mommy tweets. Don't know how to explain that, but yeah, look it up. I promise you, if you go on their Twitter right now, you'll find a mommy tweet, and it's absolutely terrifying to read, knowing that we made this public. If you are interested with both me and Toasty, our Twitters are down below, so you can kind of keep up to date. We will be casting more Overwatch EX in the future, so if you like our personalities and you want to make sure, you know, they guys are streaming, they entertain it, hit that follow, as well as check out all of our producers, people working behind the scenes. They are shown on the official Twitter, so that's why I highly recommend. Either way, I'm username_Intel. This is my good man Toasted Con Butter, and we'll see you next time.